Let's Talk Day is underway, and joining me from Toronto, I've got Dr. Cindy Waller, who's a psychologist and an expert in human behavior. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So everybody's just so worn out over the whole pandemic. We're emotionally done. How do we combat that?
This is a great question. We are done, but I think what we need to do is have a positive or optimistic perspective. And if you look at how many people cope in life with things that are unpredictable or things that we haven't had experience with, it has to do with feeling that you are in control. What can we control? And so there are 5 tips that I would recommend. One has to do with savoring, so stay in the moment. By staying in the moment, maybe you're going to cook yourself a fantastic creative meal. Maybe you're going to go for a walk or have a great conversation with somebody. The other is gratitude, because we need to appreciate what we have achieved and done and have in life. And the other is, I always say, it's helpful to offer random acts of kindness. So maybe you're offering a meal to a neighbor. Maybe you're shoveling someone's walk. And by doing that, you feel good about offering something that's kind and thoughtful. And we need to remember to stay connected. So whatever that connection is, whether it's your best friend, your buddy, family, friends, because it helps change our perspective in life. The other is, and the final tip, is to be able to embody a growth mindset. And what I mean by that is we look to the future and plan for the future and have a sense of curiosity, then that allows you to get out of inside your head and that negativity.
I love the way you're looking at this, because typically what happens, from what I see, is that I'll say, I'm so done with this, and the next person will go, me too, and then down we start going.
That's right, and it feeds on each other.
Right.
We feed on each other. It's a downward spiral, and so we want to be able to attract and give messages to those and energy that's positive and that allows us to think about the future and also what we have now that's positive.
So you had 5 great tips there, but let's just talk about somebody right now who's listening to us having a tough time. What would be step number 1 for them to help just move a little bit closer to feeling okay?
Sure. So first off, I think it is to really validate that point of view. So they are having a tough time for real reasons. And so we don't want to minimize that. But the step 1 is to look back, reflect on that person's life. What is it about your life that has been positive? And to be able to value that, and then make a plan for what it is that you want to be able to do that speaks to your talent. So perhaps you're creative and you want to enjoy a piece of music or create a piece of music or paint, or you need to get out there and do something physical so that you have exercise. We know that physical activity changes our endorphins and makes us feel better about ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming one thing we need to do, and it's hard for all of us, get off social media.
Absolutely, and you're right. We do need to learn to put boundaries around social media, because you can get caught into that rabbit hole and that dark space. And then it also plays on our self-esteem or self-worth if we look to social media in terms of quantity of followers, likes, etc., and that's a dangerous proposition.
Mm-hmm. Right on. What's your final words of advice for us?
To look to the future and look to now. Things are getting better, and if you switch your perspective and reframe things in a positive way as a glass half full person, then that helps to build emotional resilience.
Thank you so much for being on the show. This has been terrific.
My pleasure.
And my guest today, Dr. Cindy Waller, and if you want to learn more information about Cindy, you can go to her website, Cindy Waller, and Waller is spelled WAHLER.com.